Okay. Greetings. Welcome this debate on Eastern and Western civilization, presented by Bruce Vargas, Maria Fernanda Duarte, Daniela Baez, Diana Zuleta, and myself, Marisol Cárdenas. Today, we will analyze their contributions, advantages, and characteristics in various fields, from architecture and education to economy and culture. Our goal is to understand how these civilizations have influenced the modern world and what lessons we can learn from each. Let's begin. I give the floor to Daniela with Eastern civilization.
Thanks, Mary. Good evening, my partner Bruce, and I will talk about the Western civilization. The first topic is about advances in science, technology, and innovative education. Western civilization has been at the forefront of the scientific and technological revolution, transforming the quality of life globally since the scientific revolution, 16th and 17th centuries. The foundations of the modern scientific method have been laid, allowing for key medical discoveries such as vaccines, antibiotics, and diagnostic technologies. Additionally to that, the Western education system fosters creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving skills, driving innovations in electricity, computing, and artificial intelligence. Unlike education in many Eastern societies, where memorization and rigidity prevail, the West values experimentation and conceptual learning, promoting scientific and technological progress. That's the first topic.
Okay, your turn, Diana.
Okay, it is undeniable that Western civilization has made impressive advance in science and technology. However, I believe it is essential to recognize that many of these innovations are built upon the knowledge developed by Eastern civilization centuries ago. From mathematics to engineering and architecture, an example is that without the Hindu-Arabic numeral system or the architectural advancement of ancient Chinese and India, it becomes clear that the Western world would not have progress at the pace it did.
Your turn, Daniela.
Thanks, Mary. The second topic of Western civilization, it's about democracy, human rights, and gender equality. The Western civilization has promoted democracy and human rights as fundamental principles of its societies. Revolutions like the French in 1789 and American 1776 established values of freedom, equality, and popular sovereignty, inspiring institutions like the UN and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Furthermore, the West has led the fight for gender equality, enabling women to access education, employment, and political leadership on more equitable terms than in many Eastern societies. Although challenges remain, Western nations have made significant strides in reducing gender gaps and expanding rights for minorities. That's all of this topic.
Next.
It is true that Western civilization has promoted as the values you just mentioned. However, I would like to highlight that Eastern civilization has developed different models based on collective common sense and social well-being. I understand that Western civilization has focused on individual rights, and that is where the difference with the ES lays, as it has prioritizes the balance between the individual and society, promoting values such as respect and cooperation For example, Buddhist philosophy has fostered compassion and collectivity, describing more united communities.
Okay, next.
Okay, that will be great there. But I get to add some arguments about that. In the Western, about economic development, quality of life, and multiculturalism, we have this. Western economic models have allowed for sustained growth, driven by capitalism and free competition, foster innovation and social welfare. Countries like the US, Germany, and Canada have some of the highest human development indices, SDI, in the world, with access to quality education, healthcare, and social security. Similarly, bilingualism and multiculturalism have been pillars in many Western societies, promoting the integration of diverse cultures and the learning of multiple languages. In contrast to the some Eastern societies that prioritize preserving their national language and culture, the West has encouraged global openness, facilitating the exchange of ideas and strengthening international cooperation. What do you think?
I give the floor to Maria Fernanda.
Okay, thanks, Marcel. I think that that's true that Western civilization has brought a lot of contributions to our countries, but capitalism has brought also a lot of consumerism and materialism. And on the contrary, Eastern civilization is predominantly spiritual, and they focus in looking for happiness in detachment. For example, Hinduism and Buddhism, they look for happiness in spiritual knowledge, and that's a value we have to rescue from Eastern culture. Here in Western countries, we have a lot of commodities, facilities, and luxuries. And even with that, we feel sad and depressed. We have a lot of psychological issues, and we have a sense of vacuity. And related to materialism, it is well known that, for example, the United States has absorbed a lot of traditions and customs from different regions around the world, but at the same time, they don't have a root or their own traditions. Whereas if you go to China, for instance, you will find a lot of cultural aspects or areas from clothing, food, beliefs, and that's a respectable legacy to the world.
Okay, Bruce, your turn.
Okay, thank you, dear. So having our own legacy is important, but the thing is about the global adaptability. So it's better to live by our own way of thinking. So I want to discuss this point: political and social innovation for global adaptability. One of the greatest advantages of Western civilization it is the ability to adapt and evolve in the face of global changes. The flexibility of these political and social systems has allowed for the implementation of progressive policies on issues like civil rights, sustainability, and social equality. Western societies have demonstrated a great capacity for self reflection and change, enable reforms in education, economy, and social rights, securing their leadership in global evolution. This adaptability has allowed the West to maintain this influence in the modern world, ensuring a balance between tradition and progress. What do you think?
Your turn, Maria Fernanda.
Okay, thank you. I want to highlight the prevalence of ancient and religious values in Eastern culture. I think that's something we have to rescue because here in Western culture, you talked or you mentioned something about progressism, and when you defend everyone's rights, or everyone has something to say, everyone has their own truth, and the society is going to be in chaos. So you need to establish some universal values or some principles that you have to respect. Um, and we see everywhere here in our countries, for instance, students have so many rights that teachers and professors and parents, they can't say nothing because the government is protecting them, and they are not protecting authorities. And on the other side, Eastern civilization remarks the importance of being respectful to authorities, to your um, emperor, to your husband, to your parents, and that's good. And I think Western innovation in politics or progressives has brought a lot of moral degradation of societies. So that's my point of view. Thank you.
Okay. Both civilizations have made fundamental contributions to the development of humanity, while Eastern civilization has excelled in preserving traditions, collective work, and spirituality. Western civilization has driven scientific innovations, democracy, and individual rights. In Eastern culture, the emphasis on community has strengthened structures such as family, business, and social stability. In contrast, in Western civilizations, individuality has fueled creativity and technological innovation. It has been mentioned that Eastern culture is less consumerist and more spiritual, whereas Western culture has promoted economic development and quality of life through capitalism. The Western educational model fosters creativity and critical thinking, while the Eastern model prioritize discipline and memorizations. Okay, Bruce, what is your conclusion?
So, in this debate, there were a lot of arguments and points of view that are right. And for our conclusion, for the Western civilization, recognizing these differences allows for a more comprehensive perspective on global development, where both civilizations can learn from each other. For instance, Western societies can appreciate the Eastern focus on social harmony and respect for traditions, while Eastern cultures may benefit from the West's advance in human rights and critical thinking. What do you think, Daniela?
Thanks, Bruce. Finishing our conclusion, ultimately, rather than seeing these differences has points of conflict. Embracing cultural diversity enables societies to adopt the best aspects of each civilization, promoting mutual growth, understanding, and a more interconnected world. That's our conclusion of Western civilization.
Okay, Diana, what is your conclusion?
Throughout this debate, we have analyzed the contributions of both Western and Eastern civilization in different fields and concluded that, far from being opposed, both have contributed to the development of humanity in complementary ways, combining aspects such as innovation with stability, individual rights with social well-being, and science with philosophy.
Okay, This has been an enriching discussion where, where we have seen how both civilizations have influenced the world in different but complementary ways. The wisdom of the East and the innovation of the West have left a mark on history. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you guys. See you next time.
Thank you so much. It was a really good discussion.
Thank you so much.